Hello there guys, Absolute Genesis here with a deck profile for Card 5 Vanguard V, I guess you call it, or standard format. This is my favorite clan, and by far out of like the 4 standard decks I've played, this has been my favorite, and it has definitely been the most fun deck to play. And the deck I'm talking about here is a Excel clan. What Excel clan, you may ask? Well, the best Excel clan, at least in my opinion, because this clan was also the first clan I also ever used when I started Vanguard about 5 years ago now. That I think about it, over 5 years ago now, and that is Aqua Force. So of course everyone's probably here for a deck profile and everything like that, but I'm gonna make you guys wait a little bit. I'm sorry for that. You can skip ahead a little bit, but So Aqua Force. Aqua Force was the first clan I ever started off with, as it was the first deck I ever got. Since my town never really had any real good Vanguard support, so most of the time I would have to get stuff online. And of course, my first trial deck was the Aqua Force Naval Gazer trial decks. So I bought two of them. I was yeah, bought two of them, and Um, ever since then, like Aqua Force has always been a great thing, but because the fact that like I didn't really invest too much in Vanguard at the time, and as well as didn't have much support here, I never really upgraded that deck too far. So that deck is still kind of just like it's kind of a weird Aqua Force now. It eventually got upgraded to like a Genovius deck, not like an absolute complete one, but it has most like the main deck stuff. But that's about what it is right now. Um, I lost my original Maelstrom in a trade because I sent it over to somebody, and they did not hold up their part of trade, so I lost my Maelstrom. So my original Maelstrom, which is actually when a store did sell off the Blue Storm Armada set, which Maelstrom was in, the original Maelstrom, and some of the first few packs I bought, there was Basil, and then there was Maelstrom. So like that definitely made a lasting impact on me. And of course, ever since like seeing Leon in the show and everything, that Maelstrom has always been like my basically kind of like my ace and always my favorite card. But yeah, so let's go ahead and get into the deck profile. So the deck is like triple sleeved. I don't play in like what's it, Southeast Asia, so I am in the U.S. I just like my deck triple sleeve. One reason why is because I'm still waiting for my certain anime sleeves to come in. It's not Leon, sadly, but it's a nice set of anime sleeves. And also because I like having my Saber Alter sleeves or Artoria Alter, and I have these border sleeves on, which help protect my character sleeves, as that's a huge issue with character sleeves is that you don't want them damaged. That's the reason why you always have oversleeves. And I have oversleeves for those cards. But yeah, I picked up a majority of the upgrades from a guy on Facebook named Dominic Manalo. He's in several Vanguard sell and trade groups. He is amazing. It may take a little bit longer for the cards to get to you, but normally he sells them at a really good price. Normally, just for like the stuff I got, I got off for like about $20, so I was pretty happy because of that. But yeah, so let's go ahead and start this off. We of course run 7. I know 7's kind of like a odd number. Get it, odd. But besides that, 7 because the 3 from the trial deck, because I did buy one trial deck, and 4 I picked these up from Dominic as well, and I love these Excel markers. These are my like main Excel markers I use, and just 7 Excel markers. It's even though you probably like at max would probably use 2 because you can actually stack Excel markers. But yeah, let me just myself. All right, so a forewarning for my deck profile. This deck still is in need of like, well, not in need of modifications. I basically have everything from the set, but I'm still just like working on like different like ways of playing it. Right now, this is my current deck, and it's the one I'm most comfortable with. And yeah, I actually love this deck and the way it runs currently. So if anyone says anything about it, it's like, well, you just try different formats for yourself. I'm using my own format. I will probably change some things later on, but right now this is what I'm running with. So let's start off with grade threes. Of course, 4 Maelstroms. This guy is amazing. I love it. So what he does is Act ability. Both these are Vanguard abilities. His first ability is Act. Counterblast 1. All units in your front row gain 3,000 power. This is only once per turn. But it is amazing. It helps some of your units be able to hit those Vanguards that are like Force. Or even if you have like a grade 2 rear guard and your opponent has like a 10k rear guard, then like those rear guards can be able to hit that. So, it just really helps make stuff hit. And their second ability is that if your rear guard hits on the third or fourth battle, not third battle or more, or fourth battle or more, just third or fourth, just third or fourth, just emphasize on that. You can discard 2 cards from your hand or restand it. It does not lose Twin Drive, but that's kind of a little bit of a hefty cost, but more pressure on your opponent. So 4 Maelstroms. Then we have 2 Diamante. I barely use him. He can be a decent beat stick. I rarely use his second skill. And I guess worst case scenario, I can ride him as an Excel Vanguard in case I don't have Maelstrom. But he's mainly just, for me, just kind of like a backup and as well as a beat stick. I could run Naval Gazer, but I'm just going to run Diamante for right now because his skills are a bit better since they mainly focus on being a rear guard. So, yeah. Since you want Maelstrom on Vanguard. And next, I have run 4 Riptide Dragons. Now, some people would look at this and be like, wait a second, why are you running 10 grade 3s? There are a couple reasons for that. One, I did base a little bit of this deck profile off kind of like the Japanese standard, which some run these grade 3s, and I've actually found it very nice because either way, I actually don't really get these guys in my hand all that often, which is really strange. So I'm not sure if there's like a repellent on me or something for them, but I just rarely get them in my hand. Most of the time I do get Maelstrom in my hand on first hand, or yeah, it's just mainly first hand. But this guy is actually amazing. He helps like put pressure on. He can even help with Maelstrom's skill. His skill is, both of them are rear guard abilities. Is basically first skill is basically a restraint where he can't attack unless it's 4th battle or more. But then his second ability is when he does attack, that's an extra 20k power, so that's a basically 32k beat stick without Excel or a boost. You never want to ride this guy though, because he doesn't have the Excel mark. But like the reason, all right, so I'm switching hands with this arm, starting to get a little tired. But main reason for this, one, you're playing a really aggressive deck. You're playing an Excel deck, so because of that, some people might focus on grade 2s or, maybe having some grade 1s to help boost. The issue is you want as many kind of like units that can kind of run solo as they are, because sure, if you have a boost, some units will be able to hit right. But let's say you can't really like do the cost of that. Like, let's say that you really need to hold on to that grade 1 unit in your hand because that's a 10k shield. But you still have enough power on your field to be able to actually, like hit stuff like this, Maelstrom skill, things like that. Like, that's the reason why I do this. And also, it's an aggressive deck. So, as I just previously stated, it's aggressive. So you want hard-hitting units like Riptide, Diamante, maybe even call Rearguard Maelstrom. That's the purpose of them. Some people may run like only 8 grade 3s or 9 or less and focus on grade 2s. But I want to focus on just like high aggro right here. Even though this guy likes to elude me for some reason, but besides that, it's just high aggro and output of just like it's just high output because like as I said, if you get the right field, you can get a lot of things out of their hand. So yeah, let me just put this up on the side. Excuse me. That's so that's grade 3s. I'm just gonna set them up over here. So that's grade 3s right there. Then we are gonna move on to grade 2s. So first of all, we run 4 Marine General of Restless Tides Algos. So his skill is, first one is if he's on Vanguard, if it's second battle or more, Counterblast 1, Soul Blast 1, Standard Rear Guard. So that can be help early game aggro. And second skill is if he's a rear guard, if his first battle that turn, Counterblast 1, restand him. So he can be good as an Excel unit, or just kind of like a boost unit, or combos really well with let's see if I can grab it real quickly. Penguin Soldier right here. I'm gonna explain that later. So when it comes around to this guy right here, I'm gonna explain it later why it can be so good to have Algos as a rear guard. But Algos is good for meeting Maelstrom's requirements, as well as being able to help for early game aggro. Like let's say you go first, your opponent rides grade 1, they attack and so on and so forth. Then you ride Algos, then you call a couple of other grade 2 or grade 1 rear guards, swing with them, Algos. If they don't get triggered, that's some early game aggro right there. Next card is 4 Tidal Assaults. Basically a mandatory card right here. Everyone knows Tidal Assault has always been one of the best cards in Aqua Force. This one's no exception either. If when he attacks, just attacks, not Vanguard or rear guard. Algos is also just attacks. It doesn't matter if it's Vanguard or rear guard. And yeah, all right. And just making sure that his first skill that wasn't Vanguard. All right, but he can basically if his second battle or more, if it attacks or he just attacks, Soul Blast 1, restand him -5,000 power. So another great candidate for Excel Circle. Or, I'm just going to put like an Excel circle right here. It's not the Maelstrom one, but put an Excel circle right here just to go ahead and just point to that rather than just a weird empty space. And he can even help with early game rush as well. Like, it's but he'd only be at 4,000 power. That's why, foreshadowing this bad boy right here. But yeah, early game rush. Next grade 2. I only run 11 grade 2s. Lazarus. I love Lazarus. His art. I've always loved Lazarus' art. I just wish he wasn't just a standard 10k beat stick. Changing hands now. Oh god, my left arm hurts. But I seriously need to stand. But his skill is if he's Vanguard or rear guard, if it's second battle that turn or more, he gains 3,000 power when attacking the Vanguard. So he's basically just a little beat stick, and he can help combo with Algos for kind of like an early game rush. And even late game, he can still be pretty useful because combine that with like Maelstrom's Counterblast over here, he can be able to be at 15k. So that's very useful itself. I almost never put him on the Excel. Only units I really put on Excel would be Riptide Dragon, Diamantes, Algos, or Tidal Assault. Those are the main rear guards I put on there. So there's those. So there's my grade 2 lineup. Like, I love Aqua Force. Aqua Force is my favorite clan. Even after playing with, like, Link Joker, Shadow Paladin, and everything like that, Aqua Force is number 1 for me. It's always been number 1 for me. A couple times I did waver a little bit and possibly wanted to change it, but no. Even after playing around with this deck is just, it's amazing. So next, now we're getting on to grade 1s. So I run 12 grade 1s. So people might be like, oh, what about your consistency and everything like that? With this deck, I've actually had no issue, like almost no issues with riding. So we have 4 Theos here. So if you're wondering what Theos does is if it's second battle or more, when his own attack or an attack he boosts hits a Vanguard, if it's second battle or more, you can choose one of your other units and add 8,000 power to it. So you can do different things with this. You can do like combo with Algos, add 8,000 to like another rear guard that just restood or something like that. Use on Maelstrom, like let's say you hit the first attack with Maelstrom, add 8,000 power to Maelstrom itself. Let's say another rear guard hits. You go ahead and restand Maelstrom. That's 23k. So that can already hit a Forced Vanguard. That is amazing. So he's just great. Now next card is possibly one of the best cards in this entire deck. I definitely have to say freaking Lightsaber Penguin. Or just, Light Signal Penguin, because people would be like, oh, it's light signals. I like thinking of them as lightsabers. It's just badass like that. But, so he's great. He's actually just one of the best cards in the deck. So his 2 skills. His first skill is, both these are rear guard, by the way. First skill is you can rest this unit, and one of the units in the same column as this gain 5,000 power. So this is what I was, like, mentioning beforehand about, Tidal Assault and, Algos, just put him in a normal rear guard circle and just, rest him and just basically already have that 5k. So let's say you do it on Algos, there's the 5k right there, so that'd be 14. Then use Maelstrom's Counterblast, that's 17. So that's a 17k beat stick that can attack twice. So that means you can hit a rear guard if you want to, or you could like hit the Vanguard, put a little bit of that pressure on. And his second skill is when your other unit attacks, if it's the 4th battle that turn or more. Oh no, it's just if it's that 4th battle. I never really use that second ability. I love that first ability though. If it's the first battle or if it's the 4th battle, there we go. When your other unit attacks, you can retire this unit and countercharge 1. So this deck doesn't really have like a real big countercharging issue. The main thing I use Counterblast for is if I'm using Algos or if I'm using Maelstrom's Counterblast. That's literally all I use my Counterblast for. As I said, I rarely use Diamante's second skill. So yeah. But he is a great card, pretty versatile, very good in situations like that. And the next card is she's just kind of good as as a booster. But like she can also, I guess, add a little bit of pressure on. We have Battle Siren Viviana, and when an attack that she boosts hits a Vanguard, if it's third battle or more of that turn or more, I can put this unit into the soul and draw a card. So it's I'm trying to remember what card it was. It's like the Zodiac Time Beast little drag, like the purple wyvern, where like it doesn't, that one doesn't hit. It's just after it attacks and moving the soul and draw. But it's very similar like that, and it puts pressure on. As like I was like, oh, it's like, should I take the attack, or like I should probably guard it so my opponent doesn't get a free card. So like that's how good she is. She can be able to put on that little pressure, and worst case scenario, just ride her as Vanguard. Just it's just an 8k kind of little toolbox as well. So that's my grade 1s. Then we have my triggers and starter. So starting off, we have 4 crits. In your hands. So he's 4 crits, 4 fronts. Basically just a rainbow trigger here. 4 Pascal. Jesus. Now note, most of the upgrades I did pick up from Dominic. It did not include the Diamantes. It did not include the Pascals here, and did not include the Vivianas. It only included some of the commons, some of the rares, Maelstrom, and Tidal Assault. But those were the main big wild worth, because these guys aren't that expensive right here. But and then we have 4 heals, and the one, the only starter, Eric. So why rainbow triggers? Some people might question that. Some people might say, "Oh, run like maybe like 8 crits or something, like eight fronts." And of course, I have a feeling a lot of people would disagree with what I'm saying about that, and I do disagree with that. The reason why you want rainbow triggers is, one, you want pressure. So if your opponent knows that you have crits in the deck, they're going to be very cautious on some attacks. Two, fronts. Let's say your Vanguard's attack doesn't go through. If you get a front trigger, that's 10,000 power to entire front row. So that's more power and more pressure on your opponent. Draw trigger nullifies. I mean, self-explanatory. Draw trigger nullifies. You don't necessarily run a deck without them. It's like some people might run on just. I actually don't see why people would run normal nullifies, but these guys are great. But I say rainbow trigger because it provides nice enough variety while still providing a good threat. Because if you just run 8 fronts, you're gonna be lacking in like the huge pressure department of the critical, and similar can be done if you just run 8 crits. I'm not saying that would reduce pressure, but let's say like your opponent's powered up by a trigger and you only pull 1 crit. So that means originally all of your units could hit your Vanguard, but now you can only choose 1. But because if you have a front, you can be powered all those units and be able to just fill in that. So utility, that's what this is for. I found it useful as it is. It's amazing. It's great. I honestly don't feel like you're running a different trigger lineup. This lineup is already amazing as it is. So yeah, that's been my Aqua Force Standard deck. It's a fun deck. It's great. You guys can choose what you guys want to run in it. This is what I run. It's basically just to serve as kind of like a base template for what you guys for what I wanted to share to you guys. So if you guys want to like kind of copy it or something like that, it's my base template. Like if maybe like there are a few cards, like maybe like most of the layout, but like you want to change out maybe like some of the grade 3s to into grade 2s, you can do that. I'm doing it just because, in case anyone has any questions or anything like that, anyone wants to see my own opinion on what my standard deck is. But yeah, this is going to be my main standard deck, even when Shadow Paladins come out, because Aqua Force, main clan, I still love Aqua Force to this day. Oh, I love it. But yeah, so this has been my standard Aqua Force deck. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I will try as soon as possible to upload a video of my deck profile of my Nova Grappler Riser deck for standard as well. As I am switching over from G to standard, I've been trying my best to get rid of some of my G stuff. Of course, that's basically like almost impossible to get rid of unless you sell it for like dirt cheap. But it's just kind of collecting dust. But but yeah. Standard, I love it. It's great. It's so much more balanced out rather than like having one single deck just completely just overpower everything else. As all clans are kind of balanced out. As actually one of my friends who I've mainly been fighting with this deck, he's actually been pretty close to beating my deck with a basically like a slightly upgraded standard Kagura. Like some of the Bari, there we go. They run Vortex. They just run a couple other things. They don't have Waterfall or anything like that because that's pretty expensive for them. And of course, my town doesn't really have much Vanguard support. But they've come pretty close a couple of times to be beating me while I'm using this. But it just shows how like balanced out this format is. Sure, it wasn't the greatest idea for like Bushy just to announce, oh hey, yeah, we announced GBT 14, but after this we're gonna be like doing a new format where your G units are kind of like, eh. Now some people might argue it's like, hey, premium format's still a thing. It's just this has definitely affected Vanguard a lot. I say in a good way, but also a bad way, as people that spent a lot of money back on their G decks are getting really shafted, and I feel bad for them for that. But other than that, like, I love this new format. This new format's great. Most decks are pretty affordable. No decks are really going for like over like 150 really, like unless somebody's just being really really dumb with their prices. Like you can build basically a complete deck for like 150 and below. And like only real times with things get more expensive than that is if like possibly like max rarity and like high max rarity, um, or like or yeah, basically higher max rarity, and that includes like the ORs or like how Shadows is gonna have those like limited copies of the Phantom Blaster Dragon prints. Though those things are gonna be expensive, but besides that, like everything can be worked really well. Budget like well, this is kind of basically budget right here. With force markers, that was about 90, but that's still cheaper than what you probably find like online. And yeah, like I just I love this format. It's so much more affordable, and because of the fact that most people are getting into it, it makes things kind of like a bit easier to sell. So yeah, so if the deck isn't working for you, then just sell it. And other standard decks I've ran before was my Nova Grappler, my Shadow Trial deck. I haven't gotten the upgrades for that yet. I actually just recently spent about like $80 on a Saber Ultra figurine, but I've actually like saw that figurine when it was like first released, and I was like in love. But that thing was always so expensive. Luckily, they had it at a half off price, so I was like, yeah, I'm getting that now. And then my first deck for standard was actually a Kagero deck. It was fully upgraded Kagero waterfall deck. It was a kind of expensive deck. Built it for about like 110. Sold it for about 125. Thank you, dude. Thank you, dude. I'm sorry, I can't think of your name on top for taking that off my hands. But issue with it was, it didn't suit my playstyle. I didn't like it because it didn't suit my playstyle. It had a lot of consistency issues for me, so I couldn't use that as well. That's the reason why I love Aqua Force. This deck is just like runs so good for me, so much better for me, and it's just an overall fun deck. But probably enough rambling though, guys. If you guys are interested in maybe like me recording some Vanguard matches against some of my friends, I do have something coming up this weekend, a party where me and my friends who play Vanguard gather up. So you guys want to see some of those games, I can record some videos, post them on Facebook, or not Facebook, YouTube, and you guys can watch. But yeah. So I hope you guys have a wonderful day / night, whatever time zone you're in. And I do hope you all take care. Please like and support, if you like what I do, if you like my content, it'll be greatly appreciated. I do still love YouTube. It's just that when I was doing streaming, it just wasn't turning out the greatest quality. And then I didn't want you guys to just completely just keep looking up, like going through like an hour to like 6 hours of just like footage just to find some certain like things, or just try and find some funny moments. But yeah, also note, I actually am back into Destiny. I'm back in Destiny 2. I have Forsaken. Haven't really had time for it lately, because homework. Yeah, right there too. I actually just finished that, and I'm taking a little bit of break. But I am definitely gonna try getting that together for you guys. And I have been playing with Zach, Adam, and Darren. Joe, I haven't seen him on lately. He's probably really busy with college and such, so haven't been able to play with him. But I've mainly been playing Zach, Ion, and Darren, as well as my friend Gavin. I would definitely do Warframe videos with Nathan, but currently his internet's out. And personal reasons, he can't really take care of that right now. But hopefully when he does get that back, I can record some Warframe videos with him and be able to play and show you guys again. And if I play Destiny, I will definitely try bringing Darren, Zach, and Darren along. Joe, if he does, if I do see him on around the same time as them. But yeah, that's just kind of like a schedule thing that I've been doing. Of course, you guys want to see Overwatch, I can also do Overwatch. I love Overwatch. My ranking may not be the best, because I'm just platinum, but when I do get the free time, I am going to try my best to climb my rank up to like possibly like a diamond. I know that's a bit ambitious, but if you're not ambitious enough, you're not going to get it done. But yeah, so that's just that's just some heads up. If you guys are interested in seeing some of that, I will try my best to, get the videos and everything. They're most likely going to be coming in live streams. But if it's something like Gunpla review or like Cardfight Vanguard, you want to just see Cardfight and stuff, I can just do that in normal videos. But I'm gonna stop keeping you guys, and I hope you all have a wonderful day, night, whatever your time zone is. Absolute Genesis signing out.